Alternative gonna give you what you asking for. Naturally yours, but educate the most. Hottest in the game, here to put you on. Come learn this business, welcome to Twinness. Alternative gonna give you what you asking for. Naturally yours, but educate the most. Hottest in the game, here to put you on. Come learn this business, welcome to Twinness. But glad you're tuning in on the latest tip. Alternative salon, keep your head lit. And naturally yours got your custom fit. T-shirt Vince and Nikki, keep your wig drip. TNT, double up the impact, call it Twinness. Hottest hairstylist in the business. Keeping topics fresh for your listening. Black owned woman independent. Like fishes hold it down on your imaging. Whether professional or apprenticeship. Showing culture love just to get you right. Black is beautiful, always shining bright. Alternative gonna give you what you asking for. Naturally yours, but educate the most. Hottest in the game, here to put you on. Come learn this business, welcome to Twinness. Alternative gonna give you what you asking for. Naturally yours, but educate the most. Hottest in the game, here to put you on. Come learn this business, welcome to Twinness.
Well, good evening and Happy New Year. This is Tisha McDonald, Alternatives Beauty Studio.
And I'm Tanika Gillar. I am naturally yours.
So, Happy New Year, Nikki. What's going on?
Happy New Year. Nothing much going on. And you know what? As people can see, you got your Alternatives banner right there. I got Naturally Yours banner behind me. It's been a great, just Happy New Year. I can't even say.
True. First day of the new year. I want to give a shout out real quickly. You know, I always have to talk about my Renee. Her home has been hit with the COVID. So I just want to give a shout out and I hope that everybody gets well soon. I want to give a shout out to at Voice of Promise. We are streaming on Roku right now. So I wanted to say hello to the viewers at Voice of Promise, streaming live on Roku right now.
Also, I wanted to say some thank yous real quick to Alex Anderson, who did our intro. I always get hyped up on it when he says certain parts like the nice, and also thank Jasmine again, Jasmine Michelle, for doing our logo for Twinness. She gave us several copies so that we can choose from black or white because we're twins, but we're opposite. And that's what we're going to get into today. I am more of the white. You are more of the black.
This is true. This is true.
I thought I was wrong. I thought I was wrong. Right
this is true.
So I'm Tanika. I am the baby by 4 minutes. And I like to say that. So y'all know we are identical twins. So Tisha McDonald, Tanika Gillard, I'm the baby by 4 minutes. She's up north and I'm in the south. And so we have some similarities, but some differences as well. But our brothers would say, we have 3 brothers. Yes, let's tell about that because we're going to talk about who we are and let you get to know us individually and collectively. So a lot of times we get asked that, do y'all have brothers and sisters? And yes, we have 3 brothers and we are the oldest, but Tisha is the eldest.
Wow. Just, this is true and I own it and I don't mind it.
So, where do you want to start, T? Where do you want to start?
Well, we're starting already. Well, it's the new year. We just want to, like we said, just reintroduce ourselves. Some of you know us, some of you don't, and most of you know us for being hairstylists. So I guess we could take it from there and then continue.
Okay.
All right. So as a child, I started braiding hair about 5 years old, and I started getting my first pay at 12. So I already knew as a child, I had a little glimpse of what I was going to be when I got older. Our parents died at a very young age. We were foster children. I would say that my mom died at, They died. Our parents died at a young age, and we ended up in foster care. And my foster mom slash my grandmother slash my mom, because that's what I call her, always said that I needed to go into the beauty industry because even at like 12 or 13, you could see me walking around the house with mask on my face. And at that time, it was Queen Helene julep mint green mask. Hey, hey, hey. And so to this day, this is what I'm into. I'm into beauty. I'm into hair. And so from a child,
Skincare.
skincare, from a child, that's where I was.
Okay.
Give us a little bit of history about you, Miss Nikki.
Well, because you was already braiding, I pulled on your coattails and was like, I want to learn, being the big baby that I am. And so you taught me how to braid young as well. But I think my first memory of braiding was around 9 for me. Also watching Ma get dressed in her uniforms for work because she worked in the healthcare setting. I said that I would go into the health industry because she took so much pride in ironing her uniforms and stuff, buffing and getting them white. And I said I was going to go into that industry. But then I kind of soured at the thought because then she would tell us some gross stories of her work day. And that kind of turned me off. But I'm still into the medical profession now. Years later. So I think she impacted both of us. And I think that you are the entrepreneur and I am the worker bee. So there we go. Our differences.
Well, okay, so let's take it there then. So since we saw so many deaths in our youth, it did not scare me because I also went to school for funeral service and I graduated with that in 2019, right before COVID hit. But again, we're opposites. We're twins, but we're opposites. My sister, she's in the nursing field, trying to get you healed and, you know, back out the door, back to your daily lives. And I see you at the end of your life. And yeah, I'm the last responder and she's the first responder. So, you know, we're opposites there. But death never scared me because we've seen so many deaths in our family over the years, beginning with our parents. And then, like we said, that we were in foster care, you know, so.
So I think that the commonality is hair. And I always tell people that hair has gotten us through a lot of different things throughout the years. When I went off to college and you was on your own, you know, I would do my own hair on campus and everything. And you just took it from there with your hair and your makeup and your aesthetics and stuff like that. So, and then with me having my daughter now, I've always just been part-time in my nursing career because of my daughter, and hair is my supplemental income. And so, you know, hair is always stuck with me. That's my first love. And I tell everybody that's my first love. You know, nursing comes, you know, but, and that's just education right there. But hair is my first love.
Okay, so I got to give out a shout out to Jay Reddick. I first went to school for nails to become a nail tech. And not many Black people were doing nails back in those days. There really was not a lot of Black nail technicians back then. And I just so happened to be one of them. And then 5 years later, my teacher actually recommended that she put in for me to become an inspector, a nail inspector. So examiner, sorry, not an inspector, examiner. So I would go to LIBS, that was the school back in the day on 34th Street, and I would grade, I would do the pass or fail, I would do the sanitation to see if you were going to pass your nail exams. That was me. Then a couple of years later, I went back to school for aesthetics. And I have to give a shout out to my sister coming there to get her facials and feeling smothered and claustrophobic under the mask. And another person, her name is Yukia. She also helped me go through aesthetic school. She was one of my models. Because back then we had to use live models, not today where you use a hand to do your manicures and stuff like that. We actually had to take in human beings. So if we cut a cuticle, the teacher was going to see it. If that nail polish was lumpy, because we had to use red, if it was lumpy, then we knew that the acrylic was wrong or your silk wrapper's wrong or whatever. So that was back in the day. That was in the 90s, guys. I'm dating myself. But then, so that's two. So I went to school first for nail technician. Then I went for aesthetics and makeup. And there I did get to meet Essie, and you see her nail polish all over the place. You see her in CVS and all over the place. I got to meet her face to face. And that was my first real kind of celebrity in the field type. And then when I moved to the Poconos, I went to school, Paul Mitchell, and then I got to meet him face to face, still have our picture. I got to meet Mr. Paul Mitchell himself. And so I'm licensed in New York, I'm licensed in Pennsylvania, and now I am recently licensed in Delaware. So I hold a license in 3 states.
Y'all are watching Twinness. I'm Tanika Gillard, and this is Tisha McDonald. And I just wanted to say, I think that you were the first in some other things as well. Y'all, we are streaming live on Roku. I just want y'all to know that at Voice of Promise. But yeah, you was the first, well, not the first, but primarily in the nail industry as a Black woman, and as well with the Paul Mitchell School that you went to, where you did a lot of educating on Black hair.
Yes.
Or African American.
I am one of the only still, well, not now because it was 12 years ago now that I've gone to Paul Mitchell, but I was the only one going and teaching at the Paul Mitchell schools, locks and extensions. Mm-hmm. So yes, I was one of the first, if not the only, actually the only, teaching locking specifically and braiding and weaving at the Paul Mitchell schools.
Okay. All right. And so your journey was more on the entrepreneurial side, like I said, and mine was more on the educational side because, I went to school in New York, didn't know what I wanted to do, got my degree there, an associate's degree. And then I went back to school and got my nursing. And then I went back to school and got my psychology. Then I went back to school and I am a certified child life specialist. And so for me, education, we do education. We both agree on education in the beauty industry, but we also believe in business education. And I'm big on just education as a whole. And I think that when I moved here to Alabama, people trusted me because of my background in nursing. It wasn't there are not a lot of braiders. Now they're starting to pop up. But I was doing locks. I was doing braids over locks. I was doing things that was being done in New York that I learned from Tisha when I moved down here. And so like the Havana twist and the Senegalese twist, all of that stuff, we were already doing in New York. And people down here was like, they first turned up their nose to it because they didn't understand it. They didn't like it. It was huge. And then it became a trend. So, and what I have to say, Darius Peace, he said, Nikki, you are the premier braiding salon in Birmingham. And so I keep that with me because I'm still premier. I don't care who else pops up after me. I'm still premier because there are certain techniques and tricks and tips that people don't know. And I think the many, many years of being in the industry has guided that. Sometimes I shake myself and like, oh, okay, then, with the things that I come up with.
Okay. So this is Tisha, Alternatives Beauty Studio.
And I am Tanika Gillard. We are Twinness. We're just reintroducing ourselves as we will do at the beginning of the year, each year, because, we get new followers. We get new inboxes and questions and things like that. And we don't mind if y'all have questions, make sure that y'all post them and we will address them on our next session, which is next Sunday. We are streaming live on Roku at Voice of Promise. So if you have Roku, get that channel. You'll see us. We run 24 hours a day. So I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, so as you can see, we both have banners behind us representing our individual brands. Now this behind me, it has a lot of magazines. I have 2 or 3 of these poster boards with the magazines in it. And Tisha has her models of just specific models. And so, we're the same, but different.
Yes. So I wanted to give a shout out to my first mentor. Her name is Diane Bailey. A lot of her work is in the My Lady, the book that is actually taught in cosmetology schools. She was my first mentor. So I wanted to give a shout out to her. She ran into my husband on the bus a few weeks ago, and I'm going to post that picture. But of course, she remembered my husband, and my husband remembered her. So I was happy that, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So what else, Tanika? What else do we want the people to know about us?
Well, I have 3 children because people ask. Everybody knows about my daughter Rain, who is special needs, and so that's another topic that we'll hit on throughout the year. My daughter has special needs, and so everybody hears about Miss Rain, Princess Rain, as she is. But I also have 2 sons, Cordell, who's 16, and my eldest is 26. And so people are like, "You have a 26-year-old?" Yes, thank you. And so that part I just had to throw in there because people ask about your family.
They do. Oh, okay. And since you said it, then I have my 4. I have a 28-year-old. I have, 18, 17, 15. And then I have 2 grandbabies, and they are 6 and almost 1 year old.
Oh.
So a lot of people want to know, and this is a topic on our show often as well. I have 2 adopted boys. And so that will be a topic that we speak about on Twinness. We didn't put it in our list for this year. However, we said we can't forego From Foster Care to Fabulous, because that was a story that a lot of people could resonate with or can now understand about foster care and foster children and stuff like that. So we did not put it on our roster to speak on at all for 2022. However, we are going to interject it somewhere in 2022 because it is a story that helps people, and we still are active. Like Alternatives is very active still with the children and youth in Stroudsburg. And so we want them to always know that they're not alone. They're not by themselves. And how do we overcome some of the things that we overcame being foster children? And sometimes people just don't know, and people want to know. It's not a hush-hush thing anymore.
Right. I don't think we have any of those on the calendar. We got to go back. I don't think we have special needs on the calendar. We don't have adoption on the calendar, and we don't have foster care on the calendar.
We do not.
All right. Well, we will have a business meeting after this meeting. But anyway, so T, I think that people find you to be the fun twin, and I'm the more serious tone twin.
Do you think that?
I think I am a little serious. Maybe I am a little serious, but I feel like I got too much going on to have any foolishness.
But you're fun.
I'm fun, I guess, in my own way, but I don't know.
You're spunky, but you have the style. I'm just bland.
I'm okay. Since I moved to Alabama, I'm a little bit dry and crusty.
I've been dry and crusty.
Yeah, but whatever. Anyway, y'all are watching Twinness with Tisha and Tanika. We're just talking and reintroducing ourselves to some. We just want to say Happy New Year's to you guys and have y'all set up for y'all's year. Like we've already planned out for our year, our topics, but like you heard us say, we just missed out 3 major topics here. So, I'm in Alabama, she's up north. And so we have different things that we do down here. Like down here, I don't do a lot of the micro braids. I don't use a lot of human hair extensions, whereas Tisha uses a lot of human hair up north with her clients. And so it's just different. And I think we both braid, but we just have different styles and different techniques and different ways that we braid sometimes. And if you followed us last year, y'all saw some of those videos where she does hers her way and I do mine my way. We might incorporate some of those classes later on throughout the year as well.
Perhaps, if we have the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, you are watching Twinness, and we want to say thank you for rocking with us last year. And if you're new to us this year, we say thank you for tuning in. If you're catching us on the replay, we want to say thank you for watching. And today we are just reintroducing ourselves, but we're going to be doing things individually as well. So keep an eye out for that. Tuesday starts my series for skincare because I'm always being asked about my skin. Oh, Tisha, your skin is so pretty. What do you do? I just was asked this twice last week. So, and I said, keep an eye out because I will have a video starting on Tuesday. So it'll be streaming right here on Facebook and probably on YouTube. And then on Wednesdays, I will stream the same thing on Instagram. So, yeah. So this month I'm going to be doing skincare. What is my routine? Because people want to know what is my routine. And if you want to know my secrets, then stay tuned.
All right, then. Naturally Yours will be doing a little bit on Naturally Yours, but we're focusing more this year on Rainbows, which is my daughter's line of handmade bows and rompers and knitwear. So that's where I'll be focusing. So y'all will see that. And I might do some things here and there with Naturally Yours, but really the focus for me for 22 is Rainbows, getting the name out, the advocacy, and connecting with other special needs moms and caregivers.
Okay. And that's good because you have major things going on. I know we have to do a vending event, so I'm excited about that. Depending on how this COVID thing goes, Tanika, depending on how this COVID thing goes, I hope you guys are staying safe, trying to be as protective as you can. Whether you've had the vaccine or you haven't, please stay as protected as you can.
Yes, yeah, and keep your kids safe because, they're in school and they around a whole bunch of people, and they could bring home anything. But it is what it is, you guys.
Yes, I think we've been standing pretty firm. And that's another thing. It's a new year. At the end of last year, you guys may have seen my sister was ill with COVID and she was severely ill. And so she's doing much better now. And I'm thankful for that. And it's a new year. So, and my son, he had the COVID as well. And so it's out there, guys. So
I love the way that you call it the COVID. I think it's just called COVID.
I'll be quiet. You know what? I can't deal with you. I can't deal with you. Oh, stop it.
Trying to get the sympathy from the people. Trying to get the sympathy from the people.
Keep crying.
But, oh, gosh. Oh, goodness. She's threatening me, y'all. She's threatening me. So this is Tisha and Tanika. Y'all are watching Twinness on Facebook and on Roku. And so we want to say thank you again.
And on YouTube.
We're on YouTube too? Well, and on YouTube. Well, thank you. Okay, then. So y'all can catch us on any of these platforms, Twinness, and then, on YouTube and on Roku and on Facebook every Sunday. Yes, every Sunday, 5:00 Central Standard Time and 6:00 Eastern Standard Time. So, Jay, we just mentioned you. Tisha did.
Sure did.
So, yeah. So
I will always mention Jay when I mention nail school, beauty school, whatever. I will always mention her because she was like, right there.
Okay.
So, all right. I guess we're going to wrap this up because we just wanted to say Happy New Year to everybody. And we just wanted to reintroduce ourselves because for those, thank you, Jay. She was on. We just wanted to reintroduce ourselves because we are new to Roku at Voice of Promise TV. So we just wanted to get on here and reintroduce ourselves to you guys. Hey, Michelle. Happy New Year. So we are going to sign off now and say goodnight. And we will be back next Sunday, 6 p.m. And like I said, Alternatives is going to be doing things separately. And look out for that on Tuesdays. I will be on Facebook, but it's just going to be a pre-record. I'm going to tell you now, it's going to be a pre-record. On Tuesdays, I will be on Facebook, and on Wednesdays, it'll be on Instagram. And this month, we're focusing on my skincare because I keep being asked about my skincare routine. So we're going to go through that the month of January.
All right. Well, y'all take care. Y'all have a good night. Stay safe. I'm going to get something to eat now.
And thank you for joining us tonight. And we will be back next Sunday.